Cricut just released two brand new machines, the Cricut Explore 5 and the Cricut Joy 2. And as the author of Cricut for Dummies and someone who teaches Cricut full-time, I knew that I needed to see this for myself. So I went out and bought one the morning it launched because I want to know one thing. Is this actually an upgrade or is it just a redesign with a new number on it? Today we're unboxing it, setting it up, running a test cut, and figuring out if it deserves a permanent spot in your craft room. I want to make something very clear. I bought this machine myself. Cricut didn't send it, they didn't sponsor this video, they've actually never sponsored my channel, and they have nothing to do with my book. I ran into Michael's at 9 o'clock in the morning and grabbed one of the only two that they had in stock. So this review isn't about launch hype. It's about whether this machine actually makes sense for real people spending real money. If something's great, I'll tell you. And if something's disappointing, I'll tell you that too. We're going to figure out together if this new machine is worth the money. All right, let's get to the unboxing and see what's actually included. This is part of the Essential Bundle, which I'll open up in a minute. This paper has instructions on how to install the software. This is your Cricut user guide. And some more info on the Explore 5. This is another part of the Essential Bundle kit. Let's take a quick peek at what's inside. This is a card mat used for making insert or cutaway cards, some packing material to toss out. This is a trimmer used for cutting materials like paper and vinyl. It always surprises me how many people don't know that this arm swings out. This one feels really stiff and hard to swing open. Maybe it just needs to be broken in a few times. But I love these, and my old one was getting dull, so I'm really happy to see a new one in here. This is trash, and this is the new machine. I like this teal color, it's really pretty. I wonder if this will be a Michael's exclusive color like the sage on my Maker 4 over here was. We also have a 12 by 12 inch light grip mat. I would have liked to see them also include a green standard grip mat and a purple strong grip mat for heavier materials like heat transfer vinyl or glitter heat transfer vinyl. Those two mats seem pretty essential to me. Something to keep in mind, that's more materials you're going to want to go out and buy. I would also recommend getting a brayer tool like this. So here's everything that I just pulled out of the box. Inside here we have some tools. This is a spatula, usually used for lifting materials off of your mat. This is your weeding hook, most commonly used for weeding heat transfer vinyl and regular vinyl. Some cheap paper ruler, a double-sided marker. This is a scoring tool, and your scraper. But where's the rest of the stuff? Seems like a couple of things are missing. I kept looking around for the rest of the tools, thinking that they must have been hiding in the packaging. There's no scissors, tweezers, or a spatula, and those are tools that I use constantly. Cricut literally sells an essential tool set on their website with these tools in it, so it doesn't make sense why they wouldn't include them in this essentials bundle that I paid for. And this paper roller is laughable. They used to at least give you a metal one. So inside this new Explore 5 bundle, we have the Cricut Explore Air 5 in teal. It also came with some transfer tape, which you use with the smart vinyl sheets it came with. I spread them all out so you can see we have a gold, red, white, and 1, 2, 3 blacks. It also came with some insert cards. If you open this up, there's a piece that goes inside that you can cut designs into. I'm not a fan of the colors of these cards. They're not the prettiest. Got some beiges. Beige and brown. I guess maybe that's good for Father's Day. Rustic colors. There's 1, 2, 3 whites, 1, 2 red, 2 beige, and 2 blue. And then we have some smart iron-on, white, gold, and black. Some printable vinyl, 2 sheets of it. This is a card mat to be used with these insert cards over here. And then there's the standard 12 by 12 inch light grip cutting mat. So what can you actually make with the new Cricut Explore 5? Honestly, everything that you can make before with your Cricut Explore 4. That includes vinyl decals, labels, cards, stickers, apparel, gift boxes, signs, and so much more. It's a solid everyday crafting machine, but it does not have the adaptive tool system like the Maker series does. So no knife blade, no rotary blade, no engraving tip, no cutting wood or thick fabrics. Which raises my next question. How does this compare to the Cricut Maker machines? In my next video, I'm putting them head to head. We'll test out which one is faster, which one cuts more materials, and which tools actually matter, and whether the Cricut Maker is actually worth the extra money. This looks like the power cable, the USB to connect it to your computer. This cable has a USB-C on each end. And to get started, install the software. Down here we have some storage. Throw that away. The first thing that I'm noticing right off the bat is there's no storage on the top for any of your stuff. So on my Cricut Maker 4 back here, you can see I have this side compartment on the left where you can store all of your stuff. The Explore 5 has no top storage. You have to store everything in here. I never bought the Explore 4 because I didn't think that there was enough new about it to justify the upgrade. But it did look very similar to my Maker 4 with the storage on the top left and the fully enclosed design. So you can take your tools and pop them in here. The blades go on the right, pens go on the left, and it came with a pen right here. You just pop it open and it snaps into here. The Explorer 5 is supposed to be a lot more simplified, so there's less buttons on this machine. You can see there's only 2 buttons on the top compared to my Maker 4, which has 4 buttons. One thing that I immediately find so odd about this machine is that it's got a big gaping hole in the top of it. If you compare that to my Cricut Maker 4, this machine is fully enclosed. Why would you want a big hole in the top of your machine? I have no idea, because these are precision cutting machines. They need to stay nice and clean. You don't want any dust or dirt or hair getting in there. We have a lot of pets in this house. We have 3 cats and a dog, so I mean, there's fur flying everywhere. The last thing I want is stuff getting inside the machine. I like how this one stays nice and closed, so nothing's going to get in there when you're not using it. I know on Amazon you can find dust covers that go over Cricut machines. That might be something worth buying for this because it's open, but again, that's just something else you're going to have to spend money on. I suppose you could always throw a towel or something over it for free. I'm really curious to see if there's a purpose for having this open like that, because I can't think of any reason why they would do that. If you flip the machine around on the back side, you'll see 2 slots. The one with the circle goes in the circle. This one goes in there. You don't have to use this USB-C cord if you connect your machine to Bluetooth. Now let's set up the Cricut Explore 5 and make your first project. We are going to go to cricut.com/setup and select the Cricut Explore 5. I agree to the terms, download. Follow these instructions, place your machine 10 inches from the wall, remove all the packaging, find an outlet, plug it in, and install the software. Go to your downloads folder and click on Install Cricut Design Space. Download unverified file. Then after a few minutes, Design Space will open up. Double check at the top of Cricut Design Space that your machine is connected. You click on My Machine. Right now it's trying to connect to my Maker 4, but I want it to connect to my Explore 5. It's very important that you have the right machine selected up here if you have more than one Cricut machine. I see a button to update firmware, so I'm going to do that.
A few moments later.
and then click done. In the past, when I have bought new Cricut machines, it has automatically walked me through a starter project. For some reason, this one didn't prompt me to do that automatically. So I was noticing that if I added something to the canvas and clicked make, it was prompting me to finish setting up my machine. So let's do that. Set up a cutting machine, continue, Explore 5, continue. Let's connect it with Bluetooth, continue. And it's connected. Click agree to the terms of use and activate. My machine is moving and making some noise. And we're good to go. If you want, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial to Cricut Access. I'm going to click no thanks for now. And then it walks you through doing a quick test cut. To ensure things are working smoothly, we'll make a simple vinyl decal, grab a sheet of Black Smart vinyl, and we'll guide you through it. Continue. Insert the sheet under the guides until it reaches the rollers. So pull out a sheet of Smart vinyl, turn it the long way, and slide it under here. Then push go. Push the blinking button to unload. And you can see it cut all the way through. Now you can weed your design. So the prompt on the computer said to take this outer piece and pull it off. Get any of those pieces that don't belong. And now you can use transfer tape to lift this up and move it somewhere else. So if you wanted to put that on a glass or your Cricut, you could do that. This is some transfer tape that it came with. What I would do is cut this out. Save this because this can be reused. Get rid of this excess vinyl. This stuff gets thrown out. Then you could take this, cut off a piece the same size as your design. Peel this off the backing. Place it over your design. Grab your scraper tool and burnish it. Means rub it hard. And then you should be able to peel it up. Now you can transfer this to any kind of smooth blank surface that you want. So I could take this tiny flower pot, for example, and stick it onto here. Ta-da! So should you upgrade your current machine to the Cricut Explore 5 or skip it altogether? Here's my honest take. Cricut says they were going for sleek, simplified, and 30% more compact. What that really means is they squished it flatter, they got rid of the lid, there are fewer buttons, and no side storage at all. And it's about 3 inches less wide overall. So yes, it's more compact, but honestly, who cares? These aren't very big machines to begin with, and once you set it up, you're usually not moving it around. It's not like shaving off a few inches and 1 pound suddenly changes your crafting experience. But here's my issue. I absolutely hate this open top design. These are precision cutting machines. Keeping them clean matters, and this giant opening leaves it exposed to dust, pet hair, glitter, whatever is floating around your craft room. Performance-wise, I haven't found any meaningful upgrades. The cutting speed appears to be the exact same based on my research, 14.1 inches per second. So I'm still asking, what's actually new? Now let's talk price. At launch, the machine by itself was $199, but it was already out of stock. The machine plus Essentials bundle, which is the one that I bought, was $249. Now, how does that compare to the rest of Cricut's machines? If we're looking at machine-only pricing from highest to lowest, the Cricut Venture costs $599. The Cricut Maker 4 is $399. The Explorer 5 is $199. The Joy Extra is $179. And the Joy 2 is $99. So the Cricut Explore 5 lands right in the middle. It's not a powerhouse like the Maker or Venture, but it's definitely more capable than some of the smaller Joy models. And honestly, for what you get, $199 is a pretty reasonable price point. To me, it seems like it's the exact same thing as the older model, but a little bit smaller with less storage and nothing new. Doesn't cut faster, it doesn't cut new materials, there's no new features, it's just a new look. It works exactly as an Explore machine should work, which is great, but I don't see any meaningful upgrades or innovation from the older models. I would have loved to see something like a Cricut with a printer built right in. So instead of designing something, sending it to a separate printer, and then loading it back to your Cricut to cut, it could just print and cut in one place, or add a laser engraver to one like the Xtool M1 Ultra. Something new and exciting. That would completely change the way that you make stickers, labels, and full color projects. This just feels like a redesign, not a real upgrade. If you already own an Explorer 4 or Maker 4, I personally would not upgrade. But if you're brand new to Cricut and you don't own a machine at all yet, this is a solid entry-level machine. I actually started off with a Cricut Explore Air 2. This one is a few models above that, and you can make a ton of stuff. Let me know in the comments, are you excited about the Explorer 5? Do you like the new look? Or are you sticking with the machine that you already have? What kinds of projects do you want to see me make with this new Cricut Explore 5? If you want to learn your Cricut without feeling overwhelmed and without wasting hours jumping between random YouTube videos, my book keeps everything simple and in one place. Instead of searching for the next tutorial every time you get stuck, you'll have clear step-by-step guidance right in front of you. I walk you through what actually matters, explain things in plain English, and help you build confidence as you go. Having it all organized in a book saves you time, cuts out the guesswork, and makes learning your Cricut feel easier, less frustrating, and a lot more fun. It's linked below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.